We all know the narrative about the Jets. Are they going to fix the offensive line? Are they going to fix the offensive line? As a matter of fact, I played golf yesterday. One of the caddies said to me, what about the offensive line? I'm like, oh, my God, I've had it already. I've already had it with this narrative that has been out there now for 10 days, and it hasn't stopped. It's only getting worse. And, yes, there are so many great things about the Jets, and we should all be excited about the Jets season. We should be excited about the Giants season. There's a lot of great things going on over there, too. I mean, what is training camp for? It's for guys to figure it all out, to come together, and hopefully by the time that the regular season gets here, they're all on the same page. That's why they practice so much. That's why they meet so much. And there's going to be times where, one part of the team is going to look good, maybe in practice. The other part of the team's not going to look so great. I tell you what, I saw a throw from Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson that was ridiculous. And the way that Garrett Wilson extended to go get the ball, and I'm like, damn, if that's going to be what it looks like, that to me is what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the explosive nature of the players and the quarterback and what the potential and possibilities are. Believe me, nobody knows how important the offensive line is than I do. And I will say that they will figure it out. Joe Douglas will figure it out. Mekhi Becton will figure it out. Aaron Rodgers is going to be pushing Mekhi Becton. Rob Saleh is already pushing Mekhi Becton. Now it's time to grow up. It's time to become one of the reasons why we're so good. I mean, if you just put that guy out there and he stood out there in front of somebody, he would stop them long enough for Aaron Rodgers.
All he has to do is loiter, basically.
Exactly.
He'll be okay.
And he's going to make a lot of money someday if he can just get it right mentally and feel comfortable about his knee. Now, I do want to say something about the Yankees. And what I want to say about the Yankees, I don't know if you saw this last night. So, obviously I had to find the Yankee game. It was streaming. So I find it. And right as I find it, Aaron Judge is in the batter's box and his back right leg buckles. And it looked like he was going to twist an ankle or something. And all I could think about was his foot, his toe, and watching him run and watching him go. He's not hitting well. He's trying. He's out there. He's busting his ass, and he probably shouldn't be out there. It is literally, I believe, and I know he's not going to want it, but I believe you got to shut him down. I really do. And I think if they tell me that they have surgery scheduled for December, it's going to piss me off.
Oh, that's just so stupid. I mean, how many times have we seen that with athletes around here where you end up having a problem and the next thing you know, they had surgery like 2 weeks before spring training or something. You feel like it should have been taken care of right after the season.
And I don't know if surgery is required. I don't, but I know that had been talked about and that Aaron himself said it's a consideration. And I don't know if that is still on the table, but I would get it done now. And I would, if in fact that's the case, and I would shut him down. I would not wait. Don't wait until December. Don't wait until January to see if the thing's going to heal. If surgery is something that is a part of this and can get him back to 95 to 98%, then now's the time to do it. Not in the off season.
No, of course. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday that the time to think about that was right now because this team they were 500. Now they're below 500. And if they go on a magical run to make it to the playoffs, which is unbelievably unlikely, just like the manager said, they're going to get their asses kicked in the playoffs at that point anyway.
Did you see him buckle?
Yeah, I did.
On that Charlie Morton.
And then after that,
ball.
Yeah, and then after that, he was basically ginger on the next swing. So yeah, it is.
It's just not. It doesn't look right, and it's really not fair to him. I mean, I hate the fact that he's injured. I hate the fact that he missed already 2.5 months of the season. He's their captain. He's their face of their franchise, and I understand all of that pressure that goes into it, plus a huge contract. But ultimately, if you want him, to be able to have the next 4 years at the top of his game, they got to take care of this foot one way or the other, either with surgery or with just rehab and time.
Yeah, and as much as I have destroyed the Mets and been annoyed by this season, how pathetic it's been, the one thing I give him credit for is not pretending like there was any hope. There wasn't any hope. The team wasn't any good. They were done. They ended up trading guys, and they ended up saying that's it for this season. We're going to look towards the future. Yankees have to do that right now, too. They have to. They absolutely have to. And Aaron Boone, who is the guy who's the most positive person about the Yankees I've ever heard outside of Chris McMonagle, Aaron Boone sits there and says it's an unlikely run. And he says, well, it doesn't look good, but I've seen teams go on unlikely runs before. So if he is saying that A man who was never, ever cracking and saying that the Yankees don't have a chance, of saying unlikely, then he knows deep down that they are done. Everybody does. They can't hit. Their rotation is in shambles. They're cooked. They're not making the playoffs. So now you're going to send Aaron Judge out there to make this injury worse, or put him out there and put him in jeopardy, your best player, a guy who's going to be in Monument Park, just so you could sit there and try for the rest of the year? I'm sorry. I know that some people say you owe it to the fans to be out there. I get that for Aaron Judge, but not in this situation when he's injured. Just no way. This is not like an NBA minutes restriction thing. The guy's hurt, and you need him healthy for next year so this doesn't happen again.
And we can all see that he is hurt.
Yeah.
That's the rub here. And then last night when his leg buckles, and it looks like he's almost going to, twist an ankle. I thought it was going to be a twisted ankle, but it's on that toe. And I can't even imagine whether or not, it's painful or just there's discomfort in there. And, when he's running, he's limping. I mean, we all can see it. And there's nothing worse than being an athlete that has high expectations attached to you, yet you can't be yourself. And, everything starts with your feet, man. Everything starts with your base, and your feet are the most important part of that. And if you can't be 100% there, you are definitely going to be failing. And he's trying, but he's failing. So when you see Aaron Judge in that batter's box and he's chasing bad balls out of the strike zone, or striking out again, or popping up again, there's a reason for that. He's not 100%. And I don't even know what percentage you would consider him. But I give him all the credit in the world being out there trying to do everything that he possibly can. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the Yankee fan who has paid all this money to see him. And I know he wants to be out there for you, but it's just obvious to me that he is not 100%, not even close.
Yeah, it really is amazing, the timing of things. You have him going into this contract year last year, and he has one of the great seasons we have ever seen. And then he comes back this year after the big contract and ends up getting hurt. If those years were flipped, how that would have changed his entire life. So for him, he's very fortunate that he got the contract and then ended up getting hurt. For the Yankees, of course, and their fan base, it's just terrible timing. And the freak nature of this, too, is another one of these things. We get on the Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton and all these other guys for their soft tissue injuries, that this was just he's going all out in L.A. to try to make a great play, and he ends up jamming his foot into some concrete out there that's been sitting there since 1982.
Well, the base of the stadium. And what was even more amazing is that not only does he make the catch, he runs through the gates.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say any more about the effort, who he is, how he carries himself, but now he's trying to do it hurt. And it's not fair to him. It's just not fair to him. And they need to take care of it. Whatever they got to do, they got to take care of it. And you want him in February of next year to show up to be 100% healthy, no limitations, no limping, none of that crap, if you can get him to that point.
Yeah, and I know that that's going to be the waving of the white flag if they do announce that he is done, and that's not a good thing from a business standpoint. And I'm sure there's people over there like Randy Levine and Lon Trost that don't want to see that the waving of the white flag and Aaron Judge is not going to play again, but the fan base knows. The fan base already knows that it's over. And I think that the New York baseball fan is as smart as they can be. They're as informed and into it as any fan base in the country. A Yankee fan knows what's going on. Most of them, I think, understand that the right thing to do is sit down Aaron Judge, and I don't think that they're going to be surprised if it happens or going to bail. They're already bailing on the games. Like, there's no way that this is going to make them bail on the games anymore. I think that a Yankee fan at this point would rather see some younger guys come in and get some experience the rest of the year, as opposed to watching Aaron Judge out there limping around, not being himself for a team that's not going to make the playoffs.
I know you're like a Pulse of the People Award nominee.
I don't think I was. I think I've never been a nominee.
Well,
for that,
you should be. You should be a nominee because nobody has, I think, a better sense of the fan base than you do. And I've sat here next to you now for 5 years, and it always seems like you have the pulse of the fan base.
The pulse of the fan base?
Yeah, like when you said that the Mets were not going to win and they suck, and that was like two months ago that they were done. I mean, like you were out ahead of it.
Yes, I was out ahead of that for sure.
All right, so I'm going to ask you in regards to the local franchises around here, and I'm going to say, like, if we asked 10 fans of said franchise, how many fans would agree with the assessment that you are going to give me about all the teams that we're going to talk about right now?
Okay.
All right, so it's a pretty quick answer for you, but it goes back to the pulse of the people stuff.
Okay.
All right, so out of 10 Yankee fans, we had 10 Yankee fans in here. How many Yankee fans would agree with what's our assessment, but really your assessment about shutting Aaron Judge down right now? Out of 10 Yankee fans.
7.
Out of 10 Jet fans, how many Jet fans would be talking to you about the offensive line?
9.
Right. Giant fans. Out of 10 Giant fans, how many Giant fans are worried about their defense going into the season?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I think 7.
All right. Out of 10 Met fans, how many of those Met fans are happy that they traded away Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and got back high-level prospects?
I think probably 9 out of 10 at this point. I think almost everybody has come around on that being the right thing to do.
Right. Out of 10 Islander fans,
oh God,
how many Islander fans are happy with their current state of their power play?
1, and that's Peter Schwartz.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
All right, but the point being is that there is a, I guess you'd say, a story that's being written about, the Mets, the Yankees, the Jets, and the Giants right now because they're getting ready to start playing.
Yeah.
And I think you probably have touched on each one of those correctly.
Okay.
In terms of your assessment of the percentages of fans that feel the same way you do about their said teams.
Yeah, no, it's really annoying to me that so many Jet fans are concerned and buying into all this offensive line stuff because this is the time you should just be absolutely excited and not let something like that drag you down. I mean, you got so many games and so many disappointing moments in your history. I mean, you haven't even played a game yet, and you got Aaron Rodgers here, the talk of the town on Hard Knocks. You're going to focus on Elijah Vera Tucker's ankle or Mekhi Becton this. It's like, you'll be all right. You're going to be fine, man. Every team has got weaknesses, and you look at the Jets' defense, Aaron Rodgers, all the weapons. They're not going to be perfect everywhere. It's impossible.
They're not going undefeated.
Right. They're going to be fine. I mean, and then Mekhi Becton, I can't even believe. What did Rob Saleh say that he needs to prove that he could stay out there without pulling himself out of games?
Yes.
I mean, this is a guy who spent the entire offseason showing us how in shape he was and ready to go. He took selfies every single day in the gym mirror and showed his weight loss. And he still is taking himself out of games?
I guess so.
And out of practice?
I've never really heard of anybody doing that. I don't remember.
Little tap on the helmet?
I don't ever remember that. You'd see defensive linemen come out of games and stuff like that, and they would tap their helmet.
Well, running back sometimes after like 4 or 5 carries in a row, you get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But
get a wide receiver.
Offensive lineman?
Wide receiver running a couple go routes.
Yeah.
He's a little tired. Take me out.
Offensive line.
You know what's amazing? You look at Mekhi Becton as we're looking at video of him right now over at Jets camp. He is massive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, massive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've never stood next to him, but standing next to Elijah Vera Tucker and understanding Mekhi Becton's probably 30% bigger than that, I can't even imagine.
I got to believe they are just incredibly frustrated with this young man for 2 years now.
Well, I mean, and also you had a real good sense that things were going to be different with the offseason he had, and he came in, he's still a negative story. And by the way, speaking of offensive line, we were talking about Elijah Vera Tucker and me and how I played guard, and he's a guard. We had some fun with that. Do you know who played next to me as my center for 2 years in 9th and 10th grade? Bellport JV football.
It's got to be like Sal Graziano.
No. He went to Sayville. He's a little older than me. No.
No idea. So I know this person?
You know this person, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do. Is that one of your flunkies?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I would not say it was one of my flunkies. It's someone you know actually really well.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was your center at Bellport?
JV, 9th and 10th grade, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, 9th and 10th grade. Played right to the right of him. Yep, me and him. Cracking everybody up, talking trash to the opponents. What if I told you that he's with us right now?
Oh, Rascona.
Brian Rascona, who was filling in for Eddie Scazzeri. Can you believe that?
230 pounds back
You were
then.
a center?
I was 230 pounds at my peak.
So you saw that little video that we have with Gio just steamrolling Sean Marash?
Yes.
And you saw who my center was?
It was Al.
It was Al, yeah.
Yeah, did you see Al get steamrolled in that whole thing?
Yes, I did. I've seen that video multiple times.
Watch. There goes Al on his back with his little skinny legs up in the air.
It was a good snap, though.
Yeah, but he's looking through his leg. You're not supposed to be looking through your leg.
No, you're not.
Snapping.
No, you're not. No.
That's the best I've ever looked. Rascona can attest to that. It's the best I've ever looked blocking in my entire life.
I was impressed.
Yeah, in my entire life.
It was like you were in the shoots.
Yeah, I made the shoot reference the other day, too. Yeah, me and Rascona. We were, the coaches couldn't stand us because all we did was crack up.
I think they secretively liked us, though, at the end.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely.
Maybe, but yeah.
Did you ever have to shotgun the ball when you were a center? Or no?
Yes, but very few times.
Yeah, Bellport? Come on.
Never,
it was only like if it was a 3rd and 30. There was one play.
Fake dive, strong dive, quick, inside fold, me and Giannotti.
Dust, right?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Or mud.
Right, yeah. Hand it to the fast kid and beat everybody up. That was it. That was Bellport football.